Intake heater, grid heater delete. Let's get into it. This is your grid heater. These coils right here will preheat your engine. Power will be applied through here, and then these will get warm. Your ignition's on, your grid heater's on, and the colder weathers, and that's what's preheating that air on the inlet into the engine, so you have a smoother startup. On these, this bolt likes to melt off, or this nut, and fall off in the engine, then you get metal on metal contact, and it's not a good time for anybody involved. This one sometimes can do it too, but this is the more prone one. Sometimes the solenoid will get stuck on and it causes too much heat and it just cooks it essentially. So if you do, this is a wiggle test, this one is fine. There's nothing wrong with this intake heater, it's actually in great shape. It's more or less just me being worried and at the same time doing the intake upgrade. On the new intake shelf, this is where your intake air temp sensor is. On the new one, it's like over here. That harness doesn't quite reach, so Banks makes a like 6, 7, 8-inch extension. On mine, I just cut the wires and lengthen them because it's free. I did this install a couple months ago during the summer months, and I didn't put in, I put in a coil style heater, but I didn't at that time. I just ran the summer without a grid heater. But with the cold weather starting to roll in, it was obvious I needed to do that. So I pulled it apart and I got the heater installed, and I'm just gonna go through, show a little series of videos of everything coming together and going from there. So just to go over, we have the high pressure lines, the rail, the new plenum back on. I just covered that up while I was cutting off the old coupler. So the rail torque spec and the plenum torque spec, those bolts are 18 foot-pounds. That's the little M6 guys there. Or sorry, M8 with, my apologies, M8 bolts. And then the injector lines or high pressure fuel lines, those are going to be 30 foot-pounds. So the ones in the back, I had a tough time. I couldn't fit my torque wrench in there, so I just went by feel. So hopefully I have no leaks. And then they say to torque the ones on at the head for the injectors, torque them first, then go to the rail and finish it off. And then your feed line to your CP3 or CP4, I guess, if you have a 5th gen, if you haven't got the recall yet. Those are also going to be 30 foot-pounds. And then your fuel, I believe, return here with the banjo nut, that's a 17 mil, and that is torqued to 18 foot-pounds. So the coupler, this is the coupler, and it's just like a band clamp there. I cut that off with my little die grinder. This guy works great if you're limited on space. So that's what I used. This boot will fit. That is 4, that's 3.5, 3.5, 4. They will say on websites when you order this, and this is a 4-inch, not the 3.5, the 4-inch will not work with stock boost pipes. They do. The coupler that's originally here, you cut the crimp clamp and you just get a different clamp for down here. and the intake boot will fit on your stock pipe. That's no problem. On to getting the heater going on the new intake horn. It's not really new now. I've ran it for a few months, but we got our first blast of snow here in Canada. We are looking at getting a bung welded in on the monster ram. A lot of guys will put it in, bore this out and put the heater in, but for hole size difference, it's M22. That's a bit of meat to take off. I could, but I'd rather put it somewhere inconspicuous, out of the way. So, and just put it pretty much right there and just weld it in that. So, gonna drill it, get it welded, get it tigged at work, and then we have the heat coil. I'll go right up in there. And this was M22 by 1.5. All right, the bung's welded in. I re-tapped it just because the heat and everything on the aluminum, it was a little bit difficult to. And that's, there you have it. It's kind of inconspicuous, but. And you can see it's going to do its job just as it's intended to. We're just about to wrap it up and test it out. Intake horn's on with the heater. Wiring's all kind of wrapped up there. Kind of see how I did it. I don't know if you can see there, but I put a little bit of a rubber boot around this power so nothing arcs on it. The wire, there's enough slack there. I would like to maybe get a P-clamp or something, or a little bracket with a P-clamp on it just to help secure it, but overall I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. That's going to conclude it, guys. Thanks for watching. Preheat is in, working.